Joining me right now in this Sunday morning Futures exclusive is the chairman of the House Ways and Means Committee, Jason Smith, who has released those text messages and witness testimony, also suggesting that Joe Biden was working directly with his brother Jim and his son Hunter on these deals. Mr. Chairman, great to see you this morning. Thanks very much for joining us.
It's great to be with you, Maria.
So much to discuss with you. Let's start with the budget deal. You have now accomplished so much to fund the government until mid-November. What does the next 2 weeks look like? Will you be dealing with appropriations bills single subject deals?
Absolutely. Maria, first, we've already passed more than 70% of all the funding out of the House of Representatives by just single subject bills. We still have additional work to do of the other 30%, and that's in fact what we're going to do over the next couple weeks in Congress. In fact, we were supposed to be gone this coming week, and Speaker McCarthy said we're absolutely not leaving. We're going to finish the job, and that's why it was great to keep government open for an additional 45 days so we can finish the appropriations process.
How did you allow or avoid the Ukraine funding to be in there? A lot of people are worried that, this government and the Democrats care more about the Ukraine border than the U.S. border. There was no money for Ukraine in this bill, but there was also no border security measures. Is there a separate deal worked on for Ukraine money?
Maria, if you just watched how everything unfolded yesterday in the House of Representatives, the reason why the Democrats tried to slow walk bringing up the continuing resolution to avoid a shutdown was because they wanted the Ukraine money. The Senate Democrats wanted the Ukraine money. The House Democrats wanted the Ukraine money. And the White House wanted the Ukraine money. We even had a member of Congress that pulled the fire alarm during a vote. It sounded like obstructing official proceedings, but they did all kinds of tactics to slow it down because they wanted the Ukraine funding.
Well, that's absolutely ridiculous. Is he going to be held accountable for obstructing an official proceeding?
He better be, because that's exactly what happened on January 6th, according to Biden's Justice Department. So let's see how they treat their own.
Let me move on to the other big issue this morning, and that is the breaking news. Matt Gaetz on another network said that he will bring a motion to vacate Speaker McCarthy. I've spoken with both the Speaker and Congressman Matt Gaetz in the last couple of weeks on this issue. Here's a bit of that. Watch.
I would actually like to have a short-term CR, only to make our argument stronger. Because, Maria, if we shut down, all of government shuts it down, investigation and everything else, it hurts the American public.
I'm not pro-shutdown, but the way to fund the government is not the same way we've been doing it since the mid-90s, where it's one up or down vote on the entire government all at once. We should have separate single-subject spending bills. Kevin McCarthy promised that in January. He is in breach of that promise. So I'm not here to hold the government hostage. I'm here to hold Kevin McCarthy to his word.
He claims he's going to do that this week. How does this play out, Congressman?
It's an absolute waste of time if he brings a motion to vacate. The only way a motion to vacate could be successful is if Matt Gaetz did exactly what he yells at Speaker McCarthy doing, and that's working with the Democrats. But in fact, he'd have to get more than 200 plus Democrats to join him to remove Kevin McCarthy, because more than 200 Republicans are 100% behind Speaker McCarthy. If, in fact, he does this motion to vacate, Maria, that will only slow walk the process of getting to every one of those individual funding bills that he proclaims that he wants to pass. Like I said, we've passed more than 70% of those individual bills when the Senate had yet to even pass one.
Yeah, and we should point out that this past week was quite successful. Kevin McCarthy led passing 3 of those 4 bills that you had talked about you wanted to do, and that was just in a couple of days. So you got that done. So you think Gaetz is going to be reaching out to Democrats to do this? How is he going to do it if you don't have 218 votes?
Absolutely. That's the only way he can be successful, is if he has 200 plus Democrats. So basically, Gaetz is going to work with Nancy Pelosi, Hakeem Jeffries, and the rest of the Democrats in order to remove the Republican speaker. And let me tell you, if you remove a Republican speaker, that then puts the Democrats empowered. These investigations will be done and stalled. That is unacceptable of Matt Gaetz.
One of the Democrat congresswomen wanted an end to the Biden investigation in order to agree to anything. I want to get your take on this because your committee released some damning information this past week. Where does this stand? What have we learned from that first impeachment inquiry hearing that you all led this past week?
Maria, this week, the House Ways and Means Committee released over 700 pages of documents from the two IRS investigators, the whistleblowers that came before us. And in those documents, it showed that not just was President Biden aware of his son Hunter Biden's business deals, but he was connected. He was connected through phone calls, through meetings at the White House, through trips on Air Force Two with Hunter Biden and his business associates. Even the IRS whistleblowers connected a worksheet of all these Hunter Biden business meetings with official activity of Joe Biden. It's absolutely unacceptable. But you know what it also showed? It showed not just the obstruction that the Justice Department did in not prosecuting the president's son, but also the obstruction in any leads that led to the president of the United States. In fact, there was an interview with the president's brother, James Biden, that the Justice Department said under no circumstances can you ask any question about the president. There was a search warrant that had President Biden's name originally in it, and the Justice Department said under no circumstances can Joe Biden be included. And then they wanted to pursue charges against the Biden campaign finance issues, but they said we're not interested of any of that conduct.
Well, all of this is in black and white in front of us all, and it's pretty obvious what has taken place here. But you're not going to be able to impeach Joe Biden without help from the Senate. Will it pass the Senate once you all, and do you really expect the House will impeach Joe Biden based on what you know so far?
Maria, this is an impeachment inquiry. We are focused on getting the facts. We issued subpoenas this week of bank records of Hunter Biden, James Biden. We've also asked for numerous Biden officials to come before Congress and answer questions. We need the answers to those questions before we can proceed anywhere. We're going to follow the facts, and that's exactly what we're going to do.
All right, Congressman, it's good to see you. Thank you very much. Mr. Chairman, House Ways and Means Committee Chairman Jason Smith. Thank you, sir.